When was the last time you gave yourself permission to see keen? Take off the shade, stop the cycle. It's your time to build, to rise, to lead on purpose. I used to quiet the roar in my chest, played it small, second guessed, but now I see what I was born to do. Dreams don't wait, why should you? All those voices, they don't define me. I broke the loop, I rewrote the timing. Now every step's got fire beneath, 'cause playing safe won't bring me peace. I dream it, I build it, I elevate it. No more shade, I finally faced it. I hold the pen, I write the climb. This is my chapter, this is my time. Empowered to move, inspired to win. What if you never begin? So I rise on purpose by design. It's not someday, it's my time. Tired of tired, I stood up tall, let the fear rise, then watched it fall. The cost of waiting's way too high. I'd rather leap than wonder why. What are you gonna lose if you never choose? This is your permission slip, signed by you. Make it count, get it done, command your presence, let the world see you shine. They told me to wait, I said if not now, when? I built it for bold, I won't pretend that I'm not made to lead again and again. I dream it, I build it, I elevate it. No more shade, I finally faced it. I hold the pen, I write the climb. This is my chapter, this is my time. Empowered to move, inspired to win. What if you never begin? So I rise on purpose by design. It's not someday, it's my time. On purpose. Your story starts now.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of Building a Leadership Mindset podcast. This is your host, Nikki C, from all the way from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. But this is not your normal Building a Leadership Mindset podcast where I just have one person. No, I have 5 ladies right now waiting in the green room. And this is the Ladies of Leadership Taking Off the Shades Facebook Live Takeover Part 2. And I'm super excited to just share this journey with each and every one of these beautiful souls and be able to bring this book to life in Chicago, my hometown, where it all started May 17th, 2025. It has been a long time coming. Again, if you watched part 1, I'm not going to repeat anything. Every new live, we're going to talk about something different. But this is truly a movement of providing the guides for everyone in different relationships. Again, it was just a simple conversation during one of our Friday nights. At that time, it was our Friday night calls, and we had a download. Someone asked the question, and we just made it happen. It is as simple as that. So, taking off the shades, it's all about when was the time in your life where you had to really take off the shades and make the shift that you have been yearning for, wanting, and all those things in your life. And this is the guide that's going to help you through it. And it's launching to the world May 17th. And I'm super excited. I'm going to bring one of our authors up. She is all the way from upstate New York. Super excited to have her on here. She is just a joy. I just cruised with her to Mexico, and it has been an honor to have her in my life, in our community's life, and the things that she's doing is absolutely phenomenal. Kathy Lanscoot, you are up, beautiful. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you today?
I am well. Tell us where you're tuning in from. What is your name, your business, and also what is the name of your chapter?
Okay, so I am Kathy Lanscoot. I am the founder of Make It Matter Ministries, which is a grief relief and growth coaching business. I also do consulting and a lot of work in the community and so forth, bringing hope to people. So I'm known as the hope dealer. My chapter in the book is I just forgot what it is. Oh my word! You know what? Have you got it right there? What did I put?
I don't have it right
Well,
here.
you're going to have to read the book to find out. And I'll tell you, it'll be worth it. You can look through and see everybody's beautiful work and find it. This is a testament to just tell you, it doesn't matter what you struggle with. It doesn't matter what weaknesses you think you have. You can do great things, period.
Period, point blank. I'm actually going to pull it up. While we do that, I'm going to bring up our next amazing author. Met her at a live event and we hit it off instantly. We've been rocking and rolling. She's right here in Philadelphia. She is the greatest person to take a road trip with, let me tell you. She is none other than Maritza Gertie, and she is right here. Let's see her come on. Oh, we see a black screen. Where is it? Where are you? All right, so there's a little bit of technical difficulties there, but we will get her on here once she comes back in. We're going to keep this rocking and rolling because champions adjust, and that's what we do here. We're going to go all the way to Connecticut. Met this soul on a virtual platform, and she is the true from job to joy. Beyond the 9 to 5, she has been taking ladies of leadership and what she's absorbed here by storm, and she is just doing amazing things. She's just none other than Tina Kadish. Hey, hon, how are you?
Hi, how are you, Nikki and Kathy?
I am well. I am well. Tell us where you're tuning in from, who you are, and the name and title of your chapter.
All right, so I'm Tina Kadish from Connecticut. I'm a business coach, author, and speaker from Job to Joy. I'm all about helping women, particularly over 50, who might have been let go, laid off, retired, and they're looking for that next chapter in their life, and they want to live life on purpose every day, loving what they do. My chapter is about the power of self-love. And it's, healing through self-love. And because we have to love ourselves. And, this is a journey that for me, not loving myself. And until I made a decision to love myself and do what I love to do. And that was starting a business. When I got laid off from the corporate world, it was time to think of Tina because I had never thought of Tina. So this chapter is really about taking off the shades, really uncovering that I need to love Tina and we need to all love ourselves. And so I share my journey, how growing up lacked that. I didn't love myself.
Oh, well, I know that this book is going to be a guide for many, and I had the privilege of reading each and every one of your stories, and the powerful tools that you're going to leave the world with is exactly what is needed in this time in all relationships, right? This is not just a significant other, a husband, a wife. This is also for a relationship with yourself. We have stories about relationships with the Lord, with spirit, with your beliefs, relationship with your children, your family. So it's an array of just powerful, impactful stories. Thank you, Tina, for joining us. We're going to go all the way back to Philadelphia, and we have her here, Maritza Gertie. How are you, love?
Hello from Philadelphia. My name is Maritza Gertie. Born in Brooklyn, raised in Passaic, New Jersey, been living and loving in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for almost 35 years now. My eldest is going to be 35 in August. So yeah, almost 35 years. The name of my business is M. Gertie Consulting. I assist those that have some difficulties using their voice, whether they just are extremely shy, introverted, or just don't know how to really bring across what they want to say when they want to say it in a productive way, in a way that helps people. I am very much an advocate of people, families, children, and education. not just in Pennsylvania, but across the country. And the chapter of my book is called Forgiveness, subtitled The Power of It.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for joining us. I am just so lucky to have each and every one of these women that you have met at the part one here today, and what you're gonna and who you're gonna see later. But the community as a whole, just absolutely love what you guys are doing and what you bring, and you do that so well. And I'm gonna ask Catherine: is your chapter "Life Isn't Fair, It's Fine"?
Yes, it's life isn't fair, and that's fine. That's it.
Yep, there you go. There you
Yep.
have it. We're going to now go all the way over to Texas and bring up this lovely lady. She has her shades and ready to go. Met her as well through the Connected Leaders Academy. Just wrote probably one of my best chapters in her upcoming book that I'm a part of, Voices of Success. And it kind of got me to see what BALM Global has done in 3 years, and me within the last 5 years since saying bye-bye to corporate. So she is Ellis Kirkpatrick. Hey, love, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Welcome from Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
Yes, so share who you are, the name of your chapter, where you're tuning in from, love, and what do you do?
Okay, I'm Ellis Kirkpatrick, and I am an author, a publisher, I am a speaker, I'm a podcast host of 2 amazing shows, Wisdom on the Front Porch and Reading Between the Words. And I encourage people, I help people, I get them going. We just get up to that next level. And I get to be at home and work. I love being an entrepreneur, but I love being a part of Nikki's BALM Global and get to be around all of these women all the time. Talk about a top 5. I don't know how many are in your group now. Top 500? I don't know. So many women in there, but we all encourage each other. We lift each other up. You know, I've heard women say, oh, I don't want to join a women's group. They're backstabbing. They talk behind each other. That does not happen in your group because of our awesome leader, Nikki.
Thank you so much, love. And I had the pleasure of hearing your story for the Me versus Me, which is our next anthology that launches in July. And I actually referenced it in part 1 when we talked about fear, and when you said that what we're going through right now is just temporary. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But thank you so much. Hang in there. We have about 3 more women to get on the stage, and then we're going to go through this journey of writing our chapters for Taking Off the Shades. We're going to go over to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Go Packers. Yes, I know I'm from Chicago, not a Bears fan, but my cousin has been seeing my journey, and we connected about a year or 2 ago, more specifically onto what Ladies of Leadership is, what we're building, and having her be a part of it has been just such a blessing to see what she's putting together and being a part of her journey. And I'm so excited for everything to come. So we're going to get Medelis Miranda from Milwaukee. How are you, love?
Hi, everybody. Let's thank Top Fox for these fabulous shades. Take a minute for that. Yes. So, my name is Medelis Miranda. I'm a mom, a 2-time world author, thanks to our wonderful group of Ladies of Leadership. I'm also an aspiring multi-purpose entrepreneur seeking to make a change in my community. I'm coming all the way from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, as you guys all have already been introduced to that. My chapter within Taking Off the Shades is chapter 26, and it's recognizing my identity and values. I think that with everything that we're living within the world in these times, I think that's something that's very valuable and important to have the ability to recognize that, because I think with our day-to-day lives as empowering women, sometimes we can get clouded in the day-to-day and not really recognize those values. So I just wanted to bring a little reflection on my journey in that process.
Thank you so much. And that it is, yes, what we're going through in these times, like this is where community is like needed above and beyond all else. And, you know, our families and our friends and things like that. And sometimes they don't see our vision or what we're going through. But it does take a special group of ladies to really put everything kind of down and say, hey, what can I do for you? And that's what you guys do. And the journey that we're on is beyond what I'm sure for me that it was beyond my expectation. I just wanted a sisterhood. And now we're writing books. We're launching LLCs. We are hosting live events, virtual events, and we're sharing spaces with each other, which is just so beautiful to watch. So we're going to go all the way to Canada with this beautiful soul as well. Met her online, and she is just a ball of knowledge. Like her resiliency, her passion, just for everything she does for, you know, that woman, that person going through the struggle, whatever it is. She is our relationship expert. So it is only right that she is in this book giving her guides and her tools and wisdom. Rania, our coach here. Hello, love. How are you?
Hello. Good to see everyone. Thank you for the introduction. So my name is Rania. I am from Toronto, Canada. I am a relationship coach, a Reiki practitioner, a transformational speaker, a first-time author, thanks to this book. And I am launching my podcast also in June of this year. Everything is happening at the same time. I'm also the founder of R2R Coaching, which stands for Ready to Rise. My mission is to help women in toxic relationships uncover the abuse, heal their traumas, and rebuild their lives. I am so dedicated to empowering women to reclaim their lives after toxic relationships because once upon a time, I was there. My chapter title is Tear the Prison Bars and Bolt, subtitled Escaping Conformity and Embracing Freedom. So I take you on quite a ride in this chapter.
Yes, you do. Oh my God, you just gave me chills telling me, excuse me, I'm still getting over this cold. Just give me chills telling me what your chapter and your title is, and just knowing your story, and even listening to the behind the scenes on some of the ladies that you have already interviewed for your podcast. Like, I am just like, I can't wait. I'm excited. Can't wait to see their interviews. And I've only been getting positive feedback about what you're building. So I'm excited. Thank you so much. Now, our last one here that I see in our green room, which is the person that sparked this book off. She still doesn't understand like how powerful this is. This is Addie and Vasquez, my cousin from Puerto Rico, who went and got the shades and put that idea in front of me. And this is where we're at almost 2 years later. And I'm so excited. Welcome, Addie. How are you, love?
Let me get off my hello, my ladies in leadership. How are you? Hello, Nikki. Thank you for having me on. Yes, ladies, it's time to take them off and really see what doesn't serve you anymore. And it doesn't have to take an experience or an episode or an event, but it could be at any point in our cycles of life. Hi, I'm Adelaida N. Vasquez. I am in Puerto Rico. I am a 3-time anthology author right now, and I'm so excited and very proud of this book, Taking Off the Shades and releasing and seeing what doesn't serve you anymore, because it's so true. If it hurts you and you continue to hit yourself in the same place, in the same style, you're going to learn. Eventually, you're going to learn not to go and step in that. My chapter is chapter 8, and my title is Rediscovering Self-Love, A Journey of Healing and Empowerment After Divorce. I was married to a narcissistic individual, which I didn't understand it at the time, but I later did find out after 8 or 9 years, 4 years married, that it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. So I'm going to eventually sue those fantasy storybook makers, because I was fooled as a child that the Cinderella story is actually real. But you know what? We can make our own Cinderella stories and turn it around. We could stop the things that are hurting us and go and seek something else, because we can't go in life with blinders on. There is so much more out there. And I know within community, we will learn from each other. We will rise like the sun and the phoenix, and we will get through these moments. In this present moment, I want to acknowledge that I'm actually going through something in my relationship, and I am definitely taking off the shades. One and done. I learned a long time ago, don't keep giving your time to something that's just not going to flourish. Right. My heart goes out and I keep blessing all of my exes from Texas. But at this point, I need to bless myself as well. Love you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Powerful. And the fact that, again, without the tools, right, without the experiencing or noticing or reading someone's story about what they've been through, that we're all going to be able to relate to someone in this world that's going to pick up this book and that's going to say, oh my God, I'm not the only one. I'm about to take off the shades, because that is the number one goal. It's time now. No more waiting. So what I wanted to ask everyone really quick was, writing your chapter, was it a healing process? Having to relive some of the moments, just let us know really quick, 30 seconds. Was it a healing process? And how did you appreciate that process? Kathy, you're up.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a healing process. We package things and we tend to put them away and we don't want to think about it, ruminate on them, and we can't let it go. And this was a way to find a really healthy balance right in the middle, to be able to take a look at some things that weren't fair in my life, that aren't fair in any of our lives, and start to see that because of the fact that life isn't fair to anybody, it's not just me, that actually it is okay. It's fine. Things aren't fair for any of us, which kind of makes it fair. And so to see myself in a different light and be able to recognize that the difficult things that come my way, they can turn into beautiful gifts when I allow them to be what they are and embrace whatever lesson might be there for me, instead of keeping the shades on and not looking at things in a reality, in the brightness and in the light of God. And to be able to get those shadows and the darkness out of there. The shades are off, baby.
Yes, and keep them off, right? And
That's
but
right.
we talked about on the first part that we did this morning, is that this is going to be a continuing battle, right? It's not the end all be all. We're going to be in more situations throughout our lives that now we're going to be prepared with the tools, and we can stay in it for a shorter amount of time than getting back stuck into that cycle. So I love that. Thank you. Maritza, you are up, love. Was this a healing journey for you?
Oh my goodness, yes. When you reminded me for the umpteenth time, are you going to submit a chapter? I thought about it very quickly, and this was, we as women have been taught to compartmentalize a lot of what we're feeling to be able to help others. That's just something that's ingrained in so many of us. And through forgiveness, I realized that I had to learn to forgive myself, but also forgive others for all the nonsense that may have done to me. Just to let it go and release it, to allow myself to continue to grow, still make mistakes. I'm still going to be asking others forgiveness from others, and also forgiveness for myself. But this has really been a huge relief. And I hope that whomever reads this understands that it's okay to be perfectly imperfect. You're going to continue to make mistakes to the last day you take breath. And it's okay to forgive and let go, and not assume that others are going to say the words, I'm sorry, to you. Let that piece go.
Yes. And congratulations on your book sales. I know they're coming in. I am just super excited I believe that everyone needs this book. I truly do. It's going to be, you're going to get a mix of so many different types of relationships, so many different vantage points, which is what we need, right? Because we're not all going through the exact same thing, but everything that we have went through and the guides that you guys have provided for the reader is going to have them so much prepared. And I want that to be in the teens, right? People already graduating up, thinking about boyfriend and girlfriends and, co-worker space, right? Because that's also a relationship, you with your job, you with your, employees and all that good stuff. So thank you for that. Tina, you're up, and then we're going to go to Rania.
All right. Yes. For me, going back to the times when, because my chapter is about self-love, and I never loved myself. And so this chapter really made me go back to my childhood and how I always put other people first. And I always put myself in the back burner. I stayed in a marriage for 20 years, got married young because I didn't love myself and I wanted to be loved. And so I married the first man that paid attention to me, and I spent 20 years putting love on others and thinking about them before me. So finally, after 20 years, I stood up and I ended that marriage. I'm so happy about that because I finally said, I have to love Tina. So this has been really healing. And because I was bullied in elementary school, I lost my voice in my marriage. I just never stood up and thought of Tina. And it's time really to take off the shades because it's about Tina.
That's right.
Absolutely. And then everybody, once we spend time on ourselves and we step into that boldness, that calling, that purpose, we truly become untouchable. And that just becomes a magnet to those that are going through the same thing, that needs our experience, our service. Like, we had to go through what we went through in order to even write a chapter in this book. So thank you so much for sharing that, Rania. And then we're going to have a couple testimonies and surprises for Top Fox. Rania, you're up.
Yes, so for me, it's a little different. Of course, I have to be different, right? So I can't say that writing this book was part of my healing journey, because I've already been on that healing journey before coming to writing this chapter. But when I had this opportunity to write it, I wrote it in literally 2 hours. I woke up and I sat down and it just flowed through me. And what it was a summary. It was about putting things in perspective. It's about looking at my life journey and everything that I've been through that I had to heal from, and just seeing the patterns and make it all flow. And that's how it came out, of course, with some editing after that. But the gist of it was all about me looking at things from a wider lens, looking in, right? And it was just beautiful.
Awesome. Yeah, sometimes, we've been on healing journeys from certain things from time to time, right? Every season is a different healing journey, a different experience that we're going through. I love that you see that you are different, Rania, that you are just uniquely you. And that's what we are trying to pull out from the readers, is that none of what you've went through or what you're currently going through is going to define your future unless you allow it. And this book is going to give you the tools to separate that and to see your perspectives, and to see Madeli's perspectives and Maritza's perspectives and Ellis and all 37 of these chapters. Even our foreword that's written by Elena Rodriguez is so impactful in this book. So I'm super excited. We are going to give some highlights to some of the authors that can't make it with us today, that have a little testimony for Top Fox. Just a quick thank you. And if you don't know what Top Fox is actually our lead sponsor who provided the shades for each and every author. We're excited to share this with them. Hopefully they're tuning in. I just got word from Kendall today that she will be on some of them, so we can put our shades down. These are not the original shades from the book, but they are a Top Fox shades, and I do love them. So let's see our members. We're going to go with Judith Diaz.
Hello, Judith Diaz here from Audubon, New Jersey. I'm the CEO of Say It Out Loud GG, and thank you, Top Fox.
We have Romika.
Hi, my name is Romika Temple from Voorhees, New Jersey. I am the owner and founder of Mommy's Tea Time. Thank you, Top Fox.
Let's go to our rocker who's on tour right now, Marianne Costello.
Hi, I'm Marianne Costello from the beautiful Garden State of New Jersey. I'm a TV radio, and film personality, a best-selling, award-winning, critically acclaimed author, and a motivational speaker, and the CEO and founder of Neo Zoe, New Life Through Balanced Living. I'm a board-certified holistic healthcare practitioner and a licensed massage therapist specializing in medical massage. And I want to thank you, Top Fox, for one of the best gifts I could have ever received. Top Fox, you're the best. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. We're going to actually pull up Ellis's as well.
All the way from Austin, Texas. This is Ellis Kirkpatrick, 22 times international award-winning, multiple best-selling author, and international award-winning speaker. Thanking you, Top Fox.
All right, we have Tina's as well, but we're going to, I think, do we have Tina's here? Yes, we do. Here we go.
Hello, this is Tina Kadish from Job to Joy. I'm a business coach, author, and speaker, and I empower women to find their purpose, loving every day what they do. Thank you, Top Fox, for what you're doing.
There you have it. We have a couple more. We're going to sprinkle through the rest of the lives. So we're going to go to Medelis right now to answer that question. Was this a healing journey for you? Then we will go to Ellis and Addie, and we're going to go to a kind of deeper question.
It's my turn, right?
Yes.
Okay. I feel that it was a point of reflection in my life, this process. I think it's very important it was very important for me to recognize that the passion and the value that I bring to relationships is not always going to be reciprocated. And I've always struggled with the process of trying to work on those relationships. So we're at that equal medium, the way I feel relationships should be. And being okay with understanding that that's not my job or my position, like that shouldn't be something that should be in my forefront. And that's something that I really struggled with, especially when you embrace those situations within, your family or close relationships where you feel that that's something that shouldn't even be in question. And when that is in question consistently, that's something that does take a toll on us. So writing this chapter helped me to realize and reflect on my values and, what my position is and what it should be. And, what the Lord has in our lives and how important it is for us to just embrace ourselves and be who we are and be okay with that. And if the people around us cannot value and see who we are, then that's their loss. It's really not ours. So that's, my little take on that aspect.
Oh my God, that was powerful because it's so true. Sometimes we spend countless days, countless hours, countless minutes on asking ourselves, well, what can we do more in this relationship? How much more can I give? And even when you're giving that, is it being accepted? As this is me, this is what I come with. It's so important to understand that it is their loss.
Right.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Ellis, you're up, and then Addie.
Well, I want to let you know my chapter is titled, I Was Very Shaded, combining heart, soul, and mind to see the truth. And I'm going to read you just a little bit about it. I didn't even know I had to heal. I thought once I removed myself from the toxic situation, that it would be all better. And it was better. But because I had not learned to heal, I had to put the shades on a second time because I had self-doubts about believing in my own self. Then I did remove the shades a second time to make me strong and to never use the shades again. And that's why I wrote this chapter, so that you can remove your shades for the last time or to be there for someone who is trying to remove their own shades.
So good. I'm telling you, I had the privilege of hearing her chapter for the Me versus Me. And there's just something about her voice and how she story tells. Ellis, it's just so powerful. And I love that you gave us a visual of what that looks like, because it's so true. How many times did we have to put another pair of shades on and just hold back and then decide again, okay, now I'm going to take it off. And then we put it back on and then we take it off. So this book is going to allow you to keep them off. You want to wear them when you're in the sun, of course, because there's some nice shades. Definitely when you're out, protect those eyes. Very amazing. But thank you so much for sharing it and articulating it that way. We've seen a whole bunch of head nods as you were talking. It was like, oh my God, that's so good. Addie, you are up.
Thank you so much. In my journey, I feel like I've had many occasions to do some self-healing and self-healing with others. You can't really self-heal by yourself. You really need someone to bounce off of and talk to. It's super important to find a shoulder or an ear that's willing to listen and not judge, not criticize, not tell you I told you so, or even give you instructions on how to do it the second time around if it ever comes to that. But you really need somebody that will listen. Listening is not the same thing as hearing. It's two different gifts. For me, it was closure. It was definite closure. Once it's on paper, I once was going through something in my life a long time ago. And when I went to speak to a professional, mental health professional, the suggestion of writing to this person or the situation or the event, and then it's called letter burning. And so I did that with my birth father on the paper, because that's a big part of my healing. And it also spilled into my relationships, which I didn't know those two were connected. And so it continues to show up its ugly little head, but those are chances that I take to see if the water is good enough to swim in. And so if it's comfortable, it is. But if you go deeper, you may come encounter something that you never thought was possible. And I'm going through those waters right now. So navigating without your shades will give you a better pathway to the shore. So for me, this book shows closure to that part of my life and opening myself to probably another opportunity of freedom and not having to go into a next relationship. I'm not putting myself off to relationships, but the next relationship. What can I do to navigate my waters and stay safe? So for me, it was part of closure, but I am still going through my healing process.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that point as well. Oh my God, these chapters are so amazing. If you have not gotten your pre-order for the book, it launches May 17th. You definitely want to get your hands on it. But we are launching this book in Chicago at our Empower to Inspire tour that's kicking off. It's very intentional. That's where I was born and raised. That's where my life started. That's where all the dreams were dreamt. And now we have built it, right? And now we are planning to elevate it. And that's the theme for the Empower to Inspire kickoff tour. It's build it, it's dream it, build it, elevate it. And that's what we all are doing. But I want to show you a quick highlight video, and then we're going to go into a more pressing question. This was the official business launch of Empower to Inspire, kind of a sneak peek of what you'll be getting on May 17th if you're in the room. But you also could get your virtual ticket too, and you get a book with each purchase. So here you go. Hello. Welcome back. We are with our fierce ladies of leadership, co-authors of the Taking Off the Shades book one. Yes, this is book one because this will be an annual benefit to all our ladies of leadership. So right when we launch this in May, we are ready to start our addition to June of this year. So if you're not part of the community, you want to be part of this movement and this mission, definitely connect with us. Go to www.buildingaleadershipmindset.com. Check out everything that we have going on. We're going to ask the ladies another question. And the question is, what do you wish someone would have told you during the moments that you felt the most unseen or unheard? What do you wish someone would have told you? We're going to go with you, Kathy.
I wish someone had told me not to listen to my own thoughts and to listen to the thoughts of people that share and speak power and speak freedom and speak life into you, because we all doubt ourselves. We all go through that stuff. And we lie to ourselves and we buy those lies, and there's no room for those lies in our lives. We need to surround ourselves with people that speak life.
I love that. So powerful, Maritza.
Goodness. You matter. You are important. You mean something to other people. And you make others feel better when they're in your presence.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It just reminds me of the post I just did yesterday about our presence is not an option. It's undeniable. I don't think those were verbatim, but I'm going to pull it up because I think that post, it really moved me. Something said, you know what, you have to, I was thinking it. And, you know, once I think it, I don't care if I was going to do a little TMI, but I don't care if I'm at the doctor's office, waking up, laying down ready for bed. If I get a thought, I put that together. I put it on my notes and I make sure, because these messages are not just for me. These messages are for those that I'm serving. And I think we all need to hear it. And I definitely want to quote this, but I'm going to go to Rania to get her answer on this question.
Well, you're not going to have much time because I'm going to have very brief things to say. I really wanted, or I should say, I hoped I would be told, I love you just for being you. Mm-hmm. These are simple words. I think most of us, we just want to hear that genuine, I love you. Not because you do this for me or because you make me feel this way. No, I love you because you exist.
Yeah.
Period. Dot. Mic drop.
Yeah.
Mic drop. That's not a mic. That's I think a dry erase marker, but it works the same way. Thank you so much for that. I love you are words that some people throw around just here and there. To others, they really don't even like to use it until they feel 100,000% comfortable to even say it. But it's just so, it's a powerful statement. And we all need that in our lives, whether we think we don't or not, you know, we do or not. And the quote that I put yesterday was, remember, your presence is not optional, it's undeniable. Mm-hmm. Once we can sit in that and we can walk into every room, that's going to shut off the noise. When you truly believe that your presence is undeniable no matter what. So thank you for bringing that up, Tina.
Yes, I wish that somebody had told me that I was good enough. I was more than enough, and that to love myself, that I'm worth it, that I'm worthy.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Those are just some simple words.
Yes.
Simple words. Like, and you want them, and we crave them from the people that we love the most, right? And when we don't get that, and I think another question to think about is, what is the feeling of getting that from an outside source, from someone you would never expect it from? And that's usually where we get it from our communities, right? Not even our families, not even those that can't see the vision. And you are worth it. All of you are. Everyone listening, tuning in, share this comment, like, connect with these ladies. This is what it's about. Madelis, you're up, love.
I would say that the importance of knowing that the Lord has made us all uniquely different, right? And within our imperfections and our ability to reflect on those imperfections comes the perfection, right? With the Lord's guidance and support. But most importantly, the imperfection always fuels the perfection, right? Because nobody is born perfect, right? Through our imperfections and the ability to recognize them is how we see the growth that we need in our lives. So I think that's what's abundantly important in my eyes.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I struggled with perfectionism for a long time. Hence, this BALM Global podcast sat for 2 years collecting dust with one video because I thought all of these things that I wanted to hear that I didn't hear, that I was, worthy of people listening to my voice and, following, my opinions and my guidance and things like that, and that I was loved and that, all those things. So when we stand in perfectionism, it really is us holding us back. That's where the self-sabotage comes in. That's where the all those other things that don't serve us. So thank you so much for that. Addie, you're up.
Hi there. For me, it's a little different because of the way I was raised. I was raised around non-family members. I had like one blood relative, which is my grandmother, my uncle's mom. And she was, Spanish speaking, old school, and our minds were not the same. So I always looked for validation in others. And so I adopted a whole bunch of families as my mom, my dad, my sisters, my brothers, my cousins. I didn't have that around me. I was raised by myself. The streets of the Bronx were my best friend. And so when you're raised by yourself, you're always trying to please others. And my idea of pleasing others was, don't be what irritates them. So that made me unseen. And so I would mold myself so I could be liked. You've got to wait your turn when you're unseen, when you're not that center of attention. Wait your turn. Keep building yourself. Keep looking for that way to love yourself. Keep saying that you're good in your choices of colors or clothing or food or music. It's okay to love that. And don't hear the critics outside. Don't even hear your own critic inside. But learn that when your time comes, you've worked on yourself. You've done all of that you want the world to see and hear from you. And be that authentic person. Don't be a copycat. I can't say who quoted this, but don't be that, personality, because that personality is taken already. You can't be an Oprah. You have to be a Nikki. Do you follow what I'm saying? You can't be, a Dr. Phil. You have to be a Rania. And so when those things happen, you take the place of where you belong instead of opting to copy and mold someone else because they're liked, because they're followed, because they're the ones that are getting the attention that you so much crave. Because you know what you got to give to the world, but whatever voices in your head or whatever voices are outside of you, you've got to balance them out and decipher. And at the moment, you determine yourself to be that person, no matter what happens, and you go for it. Your first time on a roller coaster, I know that drop is deep. But if you do it again and again and again, that drop eventually will become part of your system, and you're not going to be afraid anymore. So today is my turn. I'm here. I'm on a live. I'm an author. I'm really excited about where I'm at. I'm in sustainability, where I love to be. And it gives me back something. And if I have to lose people because they don't understand me or because they don't want to understand me or you don't have the patience for me, bye. See ya. Don't let the door hit you in your booty, because I am not going to wait for that anymore. I am sick and tired of conforming to someone else's expectations of me. I have my own expectations to live up to, and I'm tired of hiding them. So I'm here taking my platform. I am definitely putting these on because they look cute. And then I'm taking them off to really see authentically who is in my circle. Thank you so much.
Oh my goodness. Powerful, powerful, powerful. Thank you. Ellis, you are up, and we got one more question for you, ladies.
Okay, I'll try and make this quick. So that's a great question because I grew up feeling that I was never enough and that I was unworthy. But I have discovered a huge secret that everybody in the world has, and you have great value in you. And I know this even though I've never met you, because only you have made the choices you have made. Only you have acted or reacted to the choices that others have made that have directly affected you. And that is your value. That makes you more important than anybody else. That's why you're unique. And that is where your worth comes from. It comes from your value. And because you have value and worth, that makes you enough. And that altogether is why you matter, because you have something that only you can share with the rest of the world. And that's what people want to hear from you.
Absolutely. Oh my God, that's so good. I love how she's just so animated and she tells you, and again, this just goes back to every single day is a new day to fight a new opinion, a new talk, a new something, right? And this book is going to give you the tools to be able to channel that inner critic, that outside noise to say, you know what, my relationships are powerful. They matter. They mean something. All those good things. We have our Sandra, executive manager. Hey, Ada, Michael, Romika, who tuned in and chatted in the chats. I showcased them. This has been awesome. Medelis, did you answer this question? I think you did, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, because I know we're bouncing around. Maritza had to jump off. I'm so glad that she was able to make it and have a good time with us. I know Kathy just had to log off. So we're busy women. We're changing the world. We're making impact. So I'm just so glad that she was able to share this moment with us. The final question I'm going to ask is, how did you know it was time to let go of what no longer served you? How did you know? Like, what was that moment that you were like, not happening, Tina?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. That's a great question. Because I was tired of being tired of giving and giving, and I was frustrated and I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy. I wasn't living what I wanted to live. And so I was so frustrated and angry with myself. I was angry with myself. So I said, enough is enough. It's over. It's time to think of Tina.
Yeah.
I remember like it was yesterday.
Yes. Yes. Well, no longer. Yes, no longer. We've taken off those shades. We're going to keep them off. Again, if we're not in the sun, because, we need to protect these beautiful eyes we have. So thank you, Tina, for that. Rania, I'm going to go with you next.
For me, it was when I hit my most rock bottom, and everyone's rock bottom is different, but I know my rock bottom got me to a point where I said, enough is enough. And when I said enough is enough, I knew that what I had to do next was going to be the toughest thing I ever had to do. And you know what that is? It's confronting myself with the truth that I have been blinded to, afraid to see, that got me to the point of that rock bottom. And it was then when I made that choice to choose me. Enough is enough. No more people pleasing. No more walking on eggshells. No more conforming. Just finding that freedom of being fully, authentically, and unapologetically Rania.
Yes, and I love that, Rania, that took that challenge, that annoying bug, whatever you want to call it, whatever that situation is that wasn't serving you, and you took it and you basically said, no more. No more. I've had it. I'm done. And this is what we're going to do now. This is the pivot that we needed. So thank you for that. Addie, you're up.
Hi. For me, it was kind of weird, my situation, because I at the time was working at an AIC in New Haven, Connecticut, and an AIC is called the Alternative into Incarceration. And I would be the facilitator talking to groups of men and groups of women who recently came out of incarceration. And so it was time to turn it around and see where you're going to start now, because you just got a new start. And so as I'm doing that, I'm the facilitator, but quietly and behind the scenes, I'm going through a domestic situation where it's not fulfilling, where I cry at night when I go to sleep, where I'm being insulted and I'm trying to, tiptoe, around the eggshells. And I knew at some point it just wasn't. So I needed to face that truth, like Rania said, because it's the hardest thing to do, and tell yourself, are you going to be stuck in this for the rest of your life, or do you want out? And I had to go through that ugly phase of the divorce and separation, but I had to stand my ground and say, enough is enough. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to continue living in a marriage that is loveless, that is respectfulness, that there's no commitment whatsoever, just on paper. That doesn't make any sense. I'm fixing other people's lives while my life is all in a rut and in the chaos. And I was feeling hypocritical. How am I teaching and showing and facilitating others to do things differently for themselves and for their relationships? And I'm living something behind the scenes. And that's when I realized this is not what I wanted. So when I asked for the divorce, I ended up paying for the divorce. I separated, I left, and it was it. That was it. I had to take those choices. And even with my whole being saying not to, because it was safe, because I had a home, because you had all these commodities, but those commodities, how do I say, they don't make up for your mental health or your heart that's breaking. Men think that what they do to you or their behaviors don't chip away at your heart. They don't chip away at your compassion. It does. Silently, it does, until you finally say, what am I doing? And I was finally away from it all. And that divorce was finalized and I was free. Not technically I was free, but not free soul wise or mind wise, which I've already, like I said, this book is the end of it all. It's a closed chapter, and moving on, it's treating other relationship, especially ourselves. We are our first relationship to begin with. And that's something we're not taught, because we always see people giving love outside of them, that they think it's something from the outside. No, your first relationship, it's always with you, and it should always end with you.
So I love that, because most of probably every single chapter is how we learn to love ourselves again when we finally took off the shades, what was important to us. So I am just in awe. I can't wait. It's physically in our hands, in the hands of the world, getting their testimonies, their feedback. It's going to be phenomenal. Medelis, you are up, and then we're going to go with Ellis.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm still a little bit sick. I would say that it was the moment when I had to, like I said earlier, evaluate how the relationships around me impacted me negatively and how they weren't serving me. If you consistently have to find yourself questioning your values and questioning the ability for others to see your values and what you bring to the table, and trying to get people to reflect on that perfection, and with being okay with saying, hey, I'm sorry that I did that. I didn't realize, X, Y, and Z. And growing from that, I think that that's why there's so much malicious intent in the world, because people are just not at that level, at that growth and spiritual level where they can say, hey, I understand that this was done wrong. What can we do to move forward to grow from here, right? Because no relationship, whether it's familial, marital, or anything that we encounter in life, is perfect, right? And we all make mistakes. We're human, right? So being able to realize that, and how I consistently found myself always reiterating that, or trying to help people through that process, and still feeling undervalued, and the pain that it causes for people not to see the value that you bring to the table, is something detrimental, right? So seeing how that process negatively impacted me, right, and the strain, the stress, like I said, and the pain and the sadness and the struggle that it brings, and having the ability to realize that that's not my job, and I have to be okay with that. My job is to reevaluate my circle, right, and put forth that strong effort with the people that do value that, right? And still care for those that aren't able to see that yet, right? But being okay with having them at a distance, right? And when they're able to bring that same energy that you bring, and that same value and respect to the table, then, possibly in the future reuniting, but not allowing those relationships to bring me down from the path that I'm on. So yeah, that's my little take on that.
All good stuff. All good stuff. And I didn't share what my chapter was. I did share it on the first one, and I did get emotional. So I'm not going to repeat that, but I am going to share my chapter just in case someone watches this one alone. It's called Beyond I Do, and it's embracing your true self in a marriage. And we talked about like people like us having to re-justify our purpose, our mission, who we are. Like I had to find my identity in a 21 plus year at the time when I wrote my chapter, at a 21-year relationship, when I decided to say, you know what, I have to think about Nikki. Like Nikki's walking these shoes, right? Nikki has a passion, Nikki has a vision. And it was hard for my wife to see that for a very long time. And yeah, I'm not going to get emotional, but it was really hard. And I had to justify that and all that good stuff. But I never had a thought of like, oh, if she's not on board, I'm leaving. It was like, how can I get her to see? And the only way that I can get her to see is to keep staying in my purpose. So, to be able to see this, she'll be in Chicago with us, which I'm super excited. She was at the 2-year anniversary, but it took a long time. So if you're in a marriage and you're having these things where your partner doesn't really see your vision and really can't cast it, it wasn't for them to see. It was only for you to see and for you to walk that, and you have to make that decision. And how do you balance that family, spouse, business relationship? I would love to talk to you as far as that is concerned, because I think I want to tap into that more, because I know a lot of ladies right now are struggling. Wow, should I do it? Am I going to be away from my family? How does it all look? But yeah, it all goes back to just justifying who we are. Why do we have to do that? That's not our job. Our job is to just be in obedience to what our callings are. And, when we're in relationships, whether it's friendships that don't see it, whether it's your parents that don't see it. My mom asked me one time, what did she ask me? It was a very funny thing that she asked me. Oh, she's like, is what you're doing legal? Like, she doesn't know the world of entrepreneurship and having your own business. And why would people pay you to show them how to build build an empire, right? So it's just the lack of knowledge, and we just have to keep telling them. And these opportunities, these stories that we share, it's just one little hint of what we've went through to get to where we are today. Kathy, I know you had bounced off and came back on. So did you hear the question, or do you need to know the question?
Nope, I heard the question.
Okay.
So honestly, I really believe that the moment came for me. I'm a woman of faith. I was a child of faith. I grew up as a Nazarene pastor's daughter. God has been in the essence of all of our lives for so long, but you can't get your belief system from somebody else, no matter how close you are to it. It has to be personal, and it has to be something that strikes you where you are. And the moment that I realized that my life was not about having faith in a God who supposedly loved me and cared and created and all that, but the fact that he allowed things to be happening in my life that for the longest time I didn't understand because my focus was in the wrong place. And I recognized all of a sudden he has faith in me, or he wouldn't be allowing the things that were coming my way to happen. He's not going to give me something that I cannot handle with his help. And it's so easy to forget that, and it's so easy to get off track. But I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, God has faith in me, and that is mind blowing to me. And I feel so grateful, and I absolutely have to fulfill his purpose at this point.
Absolutely. Another mic drop. All mic drops here. I love it. I love it. I love it. Ellis, you are up.
Oh, thank you. Kathy, I'm glad you brought that up because my faith is the one thing that helped pull me out of what I was in. And once I made the choice, then I saw all of these things fall into place. And I can tell you each one of people that prayed for me, things that came in the mail that shouldn't have ever come in the mail. But the first time I took these shades off was because of my kids. I did not want them to grow up thinking it was okay to be treated this way, thinking this is the way you treat each other or the way you treat other people. I didn't want them to think this was normal. The second time I took off the shades is when I started learning to love myself, like you all said, and I set up boundaries and I stood my ground and I walked away from the voices that were coming at that were telling me I was a horrible person. And it's like, I don't have to listen to this. I know who I am. I know whose I am. And I know my purpose in life. And learning to set the boundaries and to walk away, that's a tough thing to do because you've probably never done it before. But wow, what a difference it makes. And when you stand up for yourself, really stand up for yourself because you, it is amazing how other people start to respect you and do that too.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. The hour has went beyond our control, but every single word needed to be said for this live. And we're going to give you one last chance to just leave our audience with just a piece of something really quick. What do you want them to hear? Why they need to get this book in their hands and why they need to start taking off the shade. So I'm going to let you gather your thoughts really quick while I just say, if you haven't purchased your ticket, whether virtually or live for the Empower to Inspire tour, go to empowertoinspire.com, see what the benefits are. Look at what we have available. Even if you can't make it on to the live, just know you're going to get a recording, you're going to get the workbook, and you're going to get the book. It's even worth it, even if you can't make it right on that day. I know it's May 17th. It is after Mother's Day. It is before Labor Day. But it's very intentional that we did it in May. May 14, 2022 is when my life changed and I got into a room and my first speaking competition, and I spoke about validation, which is half of what this book is about. Probably a good 80% is us looking for validation throughout our life from everyone else that should have came from whomever we see as, our guide, our spirit, God, whoever that is, and ourselves internally. So to be able to host 1 year from that date, our first online, our first Empower to Inspire business launch that you've seen the footage of just moments ago, to now being able to actually kick off our 50-state tour. Or if you want to know anything about what BALM Global has and our ladies of leadership, which we will be spotlighting them all of May in our Ladies of Leadership in Community, those that are part of the anthology and those that are rooting us on from behind the scenes. definitely connect with us in any capacity at www.buildingaleadershipmindset.com. You don't want to miss out on this movement. We are not going anywhere for a very long time, and we are going to do it very loudly. We are taking over your feed today. This is just the first step of what we are going to do and what each of these ladies are going to be doing with us along this journey. So first of all, I want to thank you all for joining us, and then let's leave our audience with just a quick thought of what you want them to leave with. Tina.
I think that all of us deserve loving ourselves. Just, you're worthy. I'm going to say it again. We need to love ourselves, and we want to make an impact for others, but love ourselves first. And I think this book, when everybody reads our stories, we can make a difference, and we can change something that they're going through right now. And if we can inspire them and make an impact to them by our stories, just think how the world can be different. We can make a better world.
Absolutely. You have 37 plus opportunities in this book from each author. Let's say 38, because even our Elena Rodriguez, who wrote the forward, who wrote the forward, just our partnership. She was there that day, May 14th, and what we have been able to build and grow. And by the way, the Lady Boss Bombs will be in tomorrow, so I'm super excited. The new Dare to Lead collection. If you haven't got yours, or if you haven't got a gift for your mother, sister, friend, daughter, definitely connect with us on that. Who did I not call? Let's go to Addie really quick. What do you want to leave them with?
Hi there. One thing that I want to leave our audience with is that you never know what you can find that will align with you, that will touch you in some type of way. And with the anthology, it's not one author with their one thought. It's 37 authors with 37 different, thoughts and ways for them that worked for them. So it may not be a recipe that works for you, but you could take little bits and pieces that align with you and make your own recipe that will work for you. Not every, we have 11 pairs of shoes, all size 10, but not all people with size 10 are going to fit into those shoes. And, it takes a little while for you to mold those shoes to be comfortable because it comes off the assembly line like that, right? But you have to cater it to yourself. So personalize it, take what you can, leave what you don't need, and keep it moving because lives are cycles. There's cycles. And trust me when I tell you, your first 20 years, that's learning to walk and talk and feel. The next 20 years, that means you'll be 40 years old. That is when you're going into who you are and who you're becoming. And so you don't have to know it all at 18 years old. I don't believe in that. I believe that we become adults once we become very mature. So take what you can, leave what you don't, and remember to take off the shades when you're looking at someone.
Thank you. I love that. That's so good. Ellis, you are up, hon.
Oh, I just want to say you deserve to be treated with love, with respect. You deserve to be cared for. And this is for you too, men. I know you're going to pick up the book and you're going to look at it because I know there's men out there who are not treated right, who are belittled because they want to have an emotion or because they don't want to do what everybody else does. You have, like Addie said, there's so many voices here and they're not shouting at you. They're giving out of their hearts and they're giving out of compassion and caring about you. And you're going to love this book. I already, I've got 36 plus books that I'm in. And this book is going to be one of the most powerful yet.
Thank you so much, Ellis. That is so true. This is not just for women. This is for men, right? You're going to tap into what the women think about through these journeys, right? Through these stories. You're going to get a clarity on maybe some of the actions that you can relate to, or maybe you're being that person, you're that person in their shoes, right? Not in their shoes, but you're going through it right now. We're all going through it. And when it comes to relationships, no one's exempt. No one is exempt. So pick up the book, support your author, support your family, your friends, those that are in this book. Super powerful point, Ellis. Thank you. Rania, you're up, and then Medelis.
Well, I can't say anything different than what everyone has been saying here, but I'll probably say it a bit differently. We all have a story to tell, right? And not everyone is able to put their story in a book. Us here, the ladies that have joined this project, thanks to you, Nikki, for sure, we're able to tell our stories. We're able to try anyways to make a difference, like many of us are here for. But there's people out there who don't have that opportunity. Or what they may get is feel themselves in one of the stories that are being said or told. They will relate so much. They will know, I am not alone. I am not the only one going through this. Someone else out there went through it, and look how they got through it. Is everyone's journey going to be the same? No. Is every tool that is going to be mentioned, every tip, every technique is good for every single person? No. But there may be one. There will be one story that hit you. One technique that you may try, and it may help you in your life. And you're never going to know unless you get the book and read the stories and find out what is inside that book that is meant for me to know. And if that book is coming your way, it's not by accident. You're sitting there praying, saying, God, please give me the answers. So here, God gives you the answers, sends you people, gives you signs. Are you listening?
Mm-hmm.
Are you paying attention? It could happen in a book. It could happen in a normal day-to-day interaction on the subway going to work. It could happen anytime with anyone, anywhere. The point, are you listening?
Mm. Yep, I love that. I love that. It just goes me to like a lot of the posts that I put about checking out your surroundings. Yeah, we'll go to that on the next one because I definitely want to get Medeli's input. This has been absolutely phenomenal. Like I'm now on like 100. I was first on 50. I was on 100 when we got on the call. Now I'm on 150, and then I got to bring it back down and start all over.
I think all of our wonderful ladies in leadership here have explained it abundantly well. But one thing that I think is also important is the ability to reflect on the 37 different perspectives and views that are within the book, like we've all said. The impacts that these different stories can have on our lives and help us to self-reflect is, goes along well with what all of you have said. The ability to seek healthy relationships is something that is abundantly important in our lives. But how do we do that without being the voice and being the change independently that we need to be within our own lives? Taking charge of where we want to be is the only way we're going to get there. So I think being part of this process and purchasing that book and really sharing in those experiences is going to be helpful, and it's going to help give you a broader perspective on your ability to do that and really take action. So yeah, that's my take on that.
Yes. It's going to take one scripture, one quote, one line, one passage that you're going to be able to relate to, no matter who it is. I truly believe that 100,000%. I've had the privilege to reading each and every one of your chapters, and I love the variety of the different types of relationships that we have put in there. So again, it's not just for your general, dating pool. It's also for every type of relationship in your life, which I love the most. And if you have a story and you're ready to share your taking off the shades moment, remember this June, Ladies of Leadership, it's part of your membership. There's no additional cost to that. Once you lock in, you can be part of the second edition, which will be launching in 2026. And what we're going to do differently this year coming up is that each and every author is going to be able to hear each and every author's chapter as we're writing them. We did that for the Me versus Me. We just closed that up, and it's going to be just powerful. And I think I want to bring that to the second edition. And even if you did, this is a Ladies of Leadership, so you can have more than one chapter. So ladies here, start getting ready for the next chapter. We'll get you the theme on that. But this has been absolutely phenomenal. I love each and every one of your hearts. Continue to live big, to dream big, and to impact and inspire not just yourselves and not just the world, but in every single intentional thing that you do. And as I always say, make it count. Have a great one, ladies.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Oh.